people won't just lose their jobs to AIs, but actually lose their jobs to people and teams who know how to use AI properly. So the message is like we gotta adapt today.
Your competition isn't human anymore, it's agent that don't sleep. Goldman Sachs estimated roughly 300 million full-time jobs are exposed to AI automation, and the newest systems don't just chat, they click, code, file, and ship across the real websites and apps. So today we are going to show where the jobs are already shifting and what Agentic AI really is, and how to get on the owning side of the wave. So welcome to the new podcast of Control Loop, Agentic AI, Build or Be Replaced. So moving on to Daria, my co-host. Make it real, Daria. Where are the agents already taking the?
Well, you can say anywhere where the outcome is checkable. So the examples would be like coding. Autonomous coding agent like the cursor background agents can plan tasks, run tests, open pull requests in a sandbox, make requested changes, and perform end-to-end loop that used to require a few people. Then computer use without APIs, just like graphical user interfaces that we're used to look on with our eyes are now being used same way by OpenAI operator, for instance, and its other agents, and they can fill forms, submit expenses, place orders, because they use now the same interface as human. They don't have to just rely on function calls to APIs. Then the third would be like back office robotic process automation, like KYC checking, invoice fields, policy checks. Basically anywhere you can clearly define the conditions pass or fail, their agent can actually do it. For example, in the European Union, the adoption of AI processes is now up to 13% in the enterprises. That's for 2024. That is 5% rise from 2023, and we don't even have numbers for 2025 yet.
Makes sense, Daria. I think this clearly highlights that there are things happening, but not a lot of us know about them. How would you define agentic AI? This is a term that we have heard many times. How would you define agentic AI? What is exactly agentic AI?
Agent is actually like a closed loop doer. It can be described by 4 words: plan, act, check, and learn. So an agent can perform these tasks in a closed loop, and you can also define them by the level of their agency. So first would be like low agency agents that can only call one tool and get a result, and that's all they do. Then medium agency would be like multi-step with verification and a to-do plan with more items. And then a high agency would be ones that have persistent memory, that have explicit policies and risk tiers, that can make a decision to actually escalate to a human and do not proceed until a human has resolved their problem when the stakes are high. So like Andrew Ng is actually saying we should stop debating the definitions of agent and start building them, planning, using tools, reflecting and learning on what they did, and specifically measure their outcomes and measure how good they have performed. If an agent cannot recover from its own mistakes, you can't really call it an agent.
Yeah, this last line is that covers it all. I think that agent is anything which can plan, act, and check and learn. So most of the projects today are basically covering plan and act, but check and learn is something that still a lot of projects need to kind of pay attention to. What would make the agentic real now, and like what is making them the real threat to people's job right now? What are the breakthroughs?
Well, I would say that recently there have been a few breakthroughs that I would really classify as game-changing. So one of them is obviously autonomous computer use. Like OpenAI's operator, powered by their computer using agent, it can act inside real graphical user interface, just as humans do. And it broadens a lot more what agents are capable of doing beyond just APIs and function calls. Next would be enterprise coding agents. Like Anthropic has just recently bundled their Claude Code into their Team Enterprise offering with like seat controls and usage limits and dollar spend tracking. That all moves agent from just like hobby builders to actual like IT seats and IT jobs alongside real engineers. One big one is also recent reasoning gains, like DeepSeek a few months ago, now OpenAI reasoning releases. They all improve planning and reliability of coding tools, which is very critical for long-running tasks.
This summarizes, why the urgency is here. Like, I think OpenAI's operator release and similar with Anthropic. Um, I think there is a lot of action that is going on, and thanks for highlighting that action because this does not come out in the public domains. Like people don't talk much about it. So if I still believe we should give our listeners some numbers, which will put some absolute numbers to the threat that is coming. So what would those numbers be, Daria?
Well, I'd like to start with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs says 300 million jobs are exposed to AI risk globally. Then European Commission says that European enterprises are adopting AI at 13.5%, which has jumped 5% in 1 year. Then other chorus of tech leaders like Sam Altman, who says that job categories will totally go away. Then Jensen Huang that warns that people won't just lose their jobs to AIs, but actually lose their jobs to people and teams who know how to use AI properly. So yeah, across the board, the message is like we gotta adapt today.
Got it. I think the urgency is clear out there, and people are saying there are world leaders putting out that urgency, and I think it's high time that people and projects start paying attention to that. So when people listen to the agentic AI, first it is a new term. People haven't heard it. It's a very recent term. How does what should be the parts of it? How should users or product developers think about agentic AI? What would be the different parts like for an engineering team that you can tell me in an agentic AI?
Well, you're absolutely right. I think it's pretty straightforward to think about agentic AI as kind of like an engineering team on its own. You don't just have like one general model that does everything. You'd like to split it in first like a planner, so like a notepad with to-do list of their tasks and acceptance tests, whether the task has succeeded or failed and needs to be retried. Then you actually have the hands, the actual executor that calls tools and decides which tools to use, tracks timeouts, does retries if a tool failed, and actually executes things in a sandbox. But then you also have a policy engine, kind of like compliance sort of person agent that has a definition of the risk tiers where it defines where an agent can actually automatically do things or should hold or should escalate to a human before proceeding to make sure that is always running within those guardrails. Then you have the evaluator, the one that measures the metrics of everything else, whether they online, offline, whether the tool responses were received, or how much dollars were spent per successful tasks, where the loops may be spinning out. And then two last important ones would be a supervisor. Well, like a supervisor, like a manager in a team that just makes sure everything is right and everybody's performing up to their expectations, and then rollbacks or escalates to humans too. And after the task has been performed successfully or not so well, you also got to use an auditor, the one that analyzes what happened, can replace the trail of everything that was being performed and see if there is anything to learn that can be done better next time, more efficient on CPU tasks and more efficient on dollar tokens. This is pretty common in many frameworks, including now the Microsoft's AutoGen and AG2. Then they have been doing a good job formalizing multi-agent workflows, and I think we're going to see the industry adopting them more and more.
Got it. So basically, there are seven odd pieces to it. Planner and executor is something which is very basic. Most of the teams and the people are doing that, and then comes memory and policy engine and evaluator. This is something, I think, the core engine which will drive most of the things, and this is also the core which at EternaX we have focused on, and we are sharing this memory policy engine and evaluator platform to increase the value of the agents as well. So I think this is something that projects kind of miss sometime. They just are stuck in planner and executor. So kind of this should give them some understanding of where they need to whiten up. So what exactly would be the moat, Daria? There are like a recent report by MID has said that 95% of the AI projects are failing, and a lot of people are happy about it somehow. But but what exactly it compounds in this kind of a behavior, or why would the AI flourish, uh, and then create a sustainable moat?
Well, if you're building in the AI space, I think you should concentrate a lot more on what it is your unique knowledge, like your private data, your knowledge and experience of pain points in a specific industry or within a specific tech stack that cannot be easily found on the internet. So like private eval and private data. Every review that you do of agentic action, every escalation that you do to the human, the unique failure patterns within the task stack, those are all non-scrapable training data. If you self-play and add modern tool call, your reliability and throughput can actually be much higher than any generalist. And they can like compound and ratchet up every quarter in revenue too. Your competition can copy features, but they cannot copy your golden traces, your unique experience in the field. You have also got to have to keep in mind that in today, a quarter of all new apps come out with some sort of AI tool baked inside of them. So this like first mover and unique knowledge moat, I'm not sure how long it's gonna last. So if you want to build something, build it today.
Definitely, 100% true. I think private evals and private data is what the golden traces are, and as highlighted earlier at EternaX, we have both of these covered, and the value of the same is also being extended to our users. It's not just for the platform. Everything that is being automated can be done by agentic AI. So, but what cannot get automated tomorrow? Like, what is something that people should know that, okay, this is something will not get automated tomorrow, and they can have some relief there.
Well, I would say it's judgment and good taste is the judgment that you have accumulated. It's your ability to judge things on the context that cannot be easily found on the internet, and like trust in human to human relationships. So things like hiring critical executives, sensitive deals, anything kind of like based on like psychology. The difference that you got to make here is that anything that can be encoded in a set of policy rules can be automated. So things that cannot be automated are things that, at least yet, cannot be encoded in a set of just bullet points and policy rules. For instance, Geoffrey Hinton warns that job displacement is structural without guardrails. The only defensible career choice you can make today is to own and direct the agents, to collaborate with them and be a team, not try to outcompete an AI.
So most of the jobs will be done by agentic AI. And since those jobs are being done, then your paychecks and income will shift to the agentic AI or the owners of the agentic AI of tomorrow. It's a good time for us to now introduce EternaX to our listeners. We have been doing this for some time in our podcast, but I think it's important to remind the listeners again. Eterna, how does the Daria tell? Can you tell us how EternaX keeps our listeners on the winning side?
Everybody's saying that the agents will take the work, and we are not trying to battle with that. But what we are doing, we are making the agents earn for you. The examples for this would be agentic prediction markets, where autonomous agent can go analyze data and place bets and price the events 24/7 under the risk caps and tiers of payments that you define for it. Then it is an agentic wallet with agentic vaults, where you can custody, policy, and let your agent execute within those policies, and you own the income out of its proceedings. And then, well, evaluation first infra, golden traces, replayable audits, T assisted security, or for your private data and computes. Nothing that's just like, finance, YOLO, you only live once. So when agents replace working hours, we are making sure they don't also replace the paycheck. So what you have to do today is join EternaX waitlist. We're going to be launching the testnet very, very soon, and you can get the early access to our gated strategies and wallets and see this actually in action today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for this, Daria. I think the last take is that all our listeners should sign up to our waitlist. We have limited agents to give away, and there is a lot of action. There's a lot of users who have already signed up. So I would just request everybody to kind of hurry. Thanks a lot for listening to us, and we keep on coming with new episodes. Keep an eye for us. Thank you.
Yep, and we're also going to be releasing product videos, so keep an eye for that too. And see you in the next episodes of The Control Loop.